This is Jacob's Algebra, Chapter 9, Lesson 3, Part 2. All that we have left is actually the last problem in the set. This is number 9 in set 2, which is just like number 15 that I assigned for homework. So I'm just going to do a couple of these. If you look at Part B, what it says is 4x squared minus 9x plus 2 minus x squared plus 3x minus 1, x squared plus 3x minus 1, and then plus 5x squared plus 11x plus 7. So the important thing to do here is to make sure when we see this minus sign here, remember that minus sign applies to everything in the parentheses after it. So I'm going to rewrite this vertically. I'm going to start off by writing the first polynomial, which is 4x squared minus 9x plus 2. And then I'm going to write the second polynomial under it. Right now, that is x squared plus 3x minus 1. Notice that I have my x squareds all in one column, my x to the first power in one column, and my constants in one column. Now, what I'm going to do, because it's minus this polynomial, is flip the sign for everything in that polynomial. So plus x squared becomes minus x squared. Plus 3x becomes plus negative 3x. And minus 1 becomes plus 1. Okay, so now we need to add our third polynomial. Since we're adding it, we can just write that beneath. Remember again to keep like terms in the same column. So we're going to write 5x squared plus 11x plus 7. Now since we kept all like terms in the same column, we can just add down the columns. We have 4x squared minus x squared, that's 3x squared, plus 5x squared is 8x squared. The next column we have negative 9x plus negative 3x, so that's going to be negative 12x. And then we add 11x, and that's going to give us minus x, because negative 12 plus 11 is negative 1. Then we go to our last column. We have plus 2 plus 1, which is 3, and then plus another 7. That's going to give us 10. So that our answer is 8x squared minus x plus 10. Remember, when you do these and you line them up in vertical columns, you have to have your like terms all in the same column. You can't put like terms in different columns. Okay, so this was 9b. We're going to do just one more. We're going to do 9c. So for 9c, what we have is 1 minus x cubed minus x minus x cubed, cubed, and then minus x squared minus x cubed. Okay, so I'm going to start with our first expression, 1 minus x cubed. I like having my highest degree term first, so I'm going to write negative x cubed for my first column. I'm going to leave a space for squares. I'm going to leave a space for x's, and then I'm going to write my 1. Now remember, our x cubed is negative because the sign in front of it belongs to it. And our 1 has no sign in front of it, so it's understood to be positive. Okay, so now I have my next term to look at, which is, my next polynomial, which is x minus x cubed. Well, my x needs to go in the x column, and my minus x cubed needs to go in my x cubed column. Now remember, this was minus the polynomial. That means I need to flip the signs for everything in this line. So our negative x cubed becomes a positive. Our positive x becomes a negative. Okay, now we have our last polynomial to put in here, x squared minus x cubed. The x squared needs to go in its own column here because I have no other x squared terms. And it's positive because there's nothing in front of it, so it's understood to be positive. And then we have negative x cubed. That goes in our x cubed column. Now there's a minus in front of this. That means we need to flip all of our signs for this polynomial. So my negative x cubed becomes a positive x cubed. My positive x squared becomes plus a negative x squared. So now I can just add down my columns. Negative x cubed plus x cubed is 0, plus another x cubed is just x cubed. The only thing I have in the x squared column is negative x squared. The only thing I have in my x column is negative x. The only thing I have in my constant column is a 1. So the answer is x cubed minus x squared minus x plus 1. The important things to remember for the last problem in the set are when you have a negative in front of the parentheses, that negative applies to everything in the parentheses. You have to change the sign for everything in the parentheses. If you're not sure you're going to remember to do that when you rewrite it in vertical form, then go ahead and change that negative to a positive and change all the signs inside of the parentheses like this, and then don't do the copying until after you've done that, because then you've already got your signs flipped. Also remember, like terms need to be all in one column. So all your x cubeds need to go in one column. All your x squareds need to be in one column. All your x's need to be in one column. So make sure that you have like terms lined up in the same column. Again, this was number 9, which is just like number 15, which is the last problem in the set. And that is all.